Hello, random people. It's me, Rosal1, and today I'm going to talk about Ruan Mei and why I strongly dislike her. Ruan Mei is an extremely selfish, irresponsible, and conniving character who only cares about herself and her pursuit to find the answer on how to create life. She shows little to no regard for the creatures she makes after she creates them and leaves the cleanup to others to deal with her mess, aka me, or I guess the main character. Now, let's first start with this mini video essay with Ruan Mei's character. So, according to Honkai Star Rail's database, she is member 81 of the Genius Society and a scholar and expert in the biological sciences. She also plays a role with helping Herta and Scrollum with the simulated universe. She follows the path of harmony and uses the ice element. Her goal is to understand the meaning of life itself and how it is made. We learn her goals in the story quest When the Stars of Ingenuity Shine. In that story quest, at the start of the quest, Ruan Mei basically kind of fills you up in the opening cutscene. Just kind of out of nowhere and just kind of goes, oh yeah, sorry, just checking your body and how it's made. Oh sure, Miss Biologist, that's just the only thing you were checking. Okay. Freaking... whatever. It was very uncomfortable and kind of a weird scene, but whatever. She calls us a perfect experimental specimen, and bitch, you won't be experimenting on me, that's for fucking sure, with how you treat your experiments. But guess what? We have no choice in the matter because she makes us eat some kind of snack and be like, oh yeah, it's such a good snack, there's nothing suspicious about it. But no, she pretty much weed brownies you, which what I mean by that is she pretty much put some type of drug in the pastry, whatever it was, and now guess what? We can't talk freely about her, and she says it's a layer of protection for her research, and then forces us to become her assistant. So yeah. And then we find out by the end of the quest, when it's very over, at the end, oh, guess what? All the horrible shit I did, you're gonna forget it over time. The whole event, like it never happened. So during this quest, we are made to search for the life form she created and abandoned, and take them back to a zone in the space station that's basically been abandoned, because that's where her research was. After we collect all her creations along the way, we get access to her logs and find out what she's really up to. We find out that she recreated something called an emanator, and I had to Google that because I'm like, what the fuck is an emanator? So, an emanator are pathfinders who are granted permission by the Eon of their path to draw power directly from said path. Emanators are extremely strong, and they are often the strongest in their path after the Eon. So basically, an Eon's chosen, like, favorite child or something? I don't know. They're basically the right-hand mans to the Eons, really. So she basically makes an emanator to find out what makes them special, you know, how they're created, because hopefully that'll get her closer to the answer of how life is made and why it's, you know, why it's made. She also admits that Herta and Scrollum probably wouldn't like what she's doing, so she needs to hurry and find an assistant. Of course, guess what happens? The next thing you know, the creature escapes, which is why she comes to find us her assistant to really clean up her mess. So after all those logs and we get all those creatures, we meet up with Dr. Ratio, who I just gotta say, I love the voice. Very good voice, and so far I kind of actually like Dr. Ratio. I haven't really found much issues with him. So once we go through the door after meeting Dr. Ratio, which is the last door where we're supposed to meet, you know, the Emanator, which at this point the main character doesn't know what's behind that door, and the thing surprise attacks us and we almost get eaten. So after we battle it and it dies, we confront Ruan Mei about everything that's happened, and so that's when she claims she regrets her actions and that she won't defend what she's done. But in the same breath, she just laughs and calls it a minuscule misstep to reach her goals, basically. She also reveals then, like what I mentioned earlier, that we won't remember her and forget who exactly committed the selfish acts on the space stations. Not that we'll, like, forget, like, what happened, but forget who's responsible for it, basically. And since we're the only one who knows what she did, that means that basically no one will know. But again, if her logs are so accessible, then maybe Herta, even if Herta were to find out what she did, I doubt she'd care. So basically, she gets away scot-free. She then leaves the space station and abandons the cute little pastry cats and cute dumplings. And it's also implied that she kind of, I'm assuming if she's done this once, then she's probably, you know, done it many times before meeting us, you know, abandoning her creations, just leaving them. So yeah, she decides to leave them on their own for other people to handle. She also says that she can't face her own creations, which to me is just a cop-out for leaving all her problems and not dealing with them. So why do I hate Ruan Mei? Well, it's because quite frankly, she is extremely selfish and doesn't care if others around her or those she creates are in harm's way. She is irresponsible and leaves the messes and creation she makes for other people to handle, or just straight up leaves them to die because who knows what other experiments she's abandoned and in what conditions she's left them in. And worst of all, she is a conniving coward who knows she's selfish and irresponsible but does not care as long as she can find the answer she is looking for. So I hope I never run into Ruan Mei again. And so that concludes the video essay, but I do have some final thoughts on Ruan Mei. In doing a lot of research and watching like other people's videos on Ruan Mei, I do kind of feel bad for the character and her design just a little bit. Because a lot of people have been calling her boring and ugly and all of that. I mean, I don't know if she's necessarily boring. I mean, she's selfish, for sure, and irresponsible, and a coward. But personally, I don't really define her design that ugly. I mean, she's quite physically pretty, but on the inside, she's rotten to the core. Her design does give off to me more of a rich kid or maybe even a dancer kind of vibe. She doesn't really give me a genius or a biologist vibe in her design. I have heard apparently that she's a very good support character, but I didn't pull for her when her banner came out. So yeah, I probably won't be pulling for her. So unless Ruan Mei manages to redeem herself or something, which I kind of doubt, I for one will not be pulling for Ruan Mei, and I don't really care what happens with her, but I do care about her creations. I mean, honest to God, how the hell can you abandon such cute little pastry cats? And those dumplings are pretty cute too, but I'm much more biased towards the cats because I love cats. Anyways, with that, I will be seeing you next time. Bye bye!